Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Larry Spruill, news reporter for WDIV, and I am reading to you this book right here, Madison Miles and Friends, Madison Miles and the Big Move. Enjoy, relax, grab some snacks. We're about to have some fun. Let's go. So chapter 1 says, I could not believe we were moving. I really did not like packing up all of my stuff to move to the coldest place on earth. I know exactly how that feels. I had to move every 4 years. What did I ever do to my parents for them to move us to Michigan? Believe me. I asked that very much question. I brought home good grades, paid attention in school, and I even stopped talking back to mama. Well, I was at least working on it. But still, Michigan though, why could we not move to California? Mama and daddy took me out there last year for summer vacation, and they could not get me off the beach. I was so cute in my purple swimsuit and my braids too, but Michigan, ugh. I was so mad. Just then, Mama looked back at me. Maddie, do you have your book bag all packed up? It's almost time for us to head out. I was sitting on my favorite red couch for one last time, legs crisscross applesauce, while my mom was frantically packing up our blankets and pillows from last night. She was acting so crazy. Now, she did not even realize I had my feet on the couch with my gym shoes on. That's a huge no-no in my house. I was going to miss this couch. My mama said we could not take it because it was here when we got here. 3 years ago, Daddy took a job and his company gave us something called corporate housing. The company pretty much paid for us to stay in this house and gave us the furniture, so my pretty, fluffy, bright red couch had to stay. The pretty picture with red-orange lilies had to stay, and of course, my cool purple room that Daddy painted just for me was gone forever. Today was the big day Mama kept saying, but for me, it was a miserable day. Miss Fenton, my 5th grade teacher, had taught me the word miserable. It was on my last spelling test. I had spelled it wrong then, but now I knew. Daddy had already left 6 months ago to start his new job in Detroit. Mama and Daddy agreed we would stay behind until the lease on our house expired. Luckily, Auntie Renee and Uncle Earl were here to help Mama with me and Marcus Jr. Even though we missed Daddy, he was so excited about his new position. Production Development Engineer. That sounds pretty fancy. When they got the good news, they both jumped up and down. Well, at least Daddy did. Mama was still pregnant with Marcus Jr. and my little stinky brother. Soon after Mama had Marcus Jr., Daddy had to leave. He left us with little Monster. I wish Daddy would have taken Marcus Jr. with him, but now it was time to leave, and I was sad. Mama taped up the box labeled linens on the front. I didn't see why. We had to open all the boxes when we got to Michigan anyway, so what did it matter if it said linens or Marcus's ugly baby clothes on it? We had to take it anyway. I knew not to say it out loud, though, of course. I was trying not to sassy talk to Mama. Maddie, can you grab Marcus's bag for me? I'm going to go put this box in the trunk, Mama said. Mama, I don't think you should be lifting that. I looked over sternly at my mom's short, thin body, trying to pick up and carry the linen box. It was almost double her size. She was always doing crazy stuff like that. I remember she wanted to do a marathon when she was pregnant with Marcus Jr. She had been training for it for a long time, and Daddy had to finally talk her out of it. I love Mama for her ambition. Ambition was also a spelling word on my last test, but sometimes Mama was a little crazy. My mama thought she was Superwoman. Madison, I'll be fine. I'll be right back. Wait by the door just in case Auntie Renee calls. My phone is over there. As she pointed to the coffee table, a big smile came across my face as I thought about Auntie Renee, my favorite auntie in the whole wide world. Auntie Renee was my mom's oldest sister and the best cook ever. She had 2 daughters. 2. Her oldest, Janae, was about to go to college, and her youngest was Jahan, my best friend in the whole wide world. Jahan was 13 and the coolest girl I knew. The only reason my mom even came to Atlanta was because Auntie Renee was already here. Mama went to college down here years ago, met my dad, fell in love, got married. Now we were moving to horrible Michigan. No worry. Now the only thing good about Michigan was that my nanny and papa lived there. We visited them like once a year. It was always cold, even in the summer. Believe me, I understand. But I did have my own room, so I guess that was a plus. Ring, ring. As soon as Mama got to the car, her phone rang. I picked it up and saw my auntie's beautiful picture on the phone. Hey, Auntie Riri. Hey, baby, how are you? I was missing that beautiful face. I'm okay, Auntie. You know I could just stay here with you and just go to Detroit later. Now, baby, we had this conversation multiple times. You got to go with your mama. You know I love you to pieces, and Jahan is really going to miss you, but Michigan is your new home now. I sighed as she grew silent. This was the first time I think it hit both of us that we weren't going to see each other almost every day, and it hurt. I know, Auntie, I just love you all. I love my school and I love my friends. I don't want to have to start all over. Well, honey, think of it as a new beginning. I promise I will come visit and make you a sweet potato pie just like you like it. Can you come with me? I love sweet potato pie. How does that sound? I smirked as I thought about eating her fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and Sweetwater cornbread on Sundays, drinking her sweet tea on hot days after school, and her singing loud in the kitchen on Saturday mornings, waking up Jahan and me. Yeah, I was going to miss her, believe me. Well, that's a good menu. That sounded good right there. Sounds good, Auntie. Good. Now, where's your mama, girl? Auntie Riri asked. She's coming back in the door now. Here you go. My mom walked in looking tired. I wasn't surprised because that box looked heavy. My mama's caramel colored skin was so pretty. Daddy called her his little butterscotch, and she would always giggle. She was also half the size of Daddy and the skinniest woman I have ever seen. I always wondered if I was going to look like her when I grew up. My mom grabbed the phone and plopped on the couch. Hey, Renee, are you on the way? Auntie Riri was going to drive us in our car to the storage place to put our stuff up and then take us to the airport. My mom tried to make the best of it for me, though. She bought me some sweet purple headphones to listen to my music on the plane. They were all glittery and cute. She gave them to me the day Daddy had left to start his new position in Detroit. It was a sad day when he went to the airport. Mama jumped out of the car really quickly to give Daddy a hug and kiss and would not leave the airport until he got all the way inside. Once we got back in the car, she told me to go look in the trunk, and there was a beautiful glittery package for me to open. It made me so happy. All right, Maddie, get your stuff. Auntie Riri and Jahan should be here in like 15 minutes. I'm gonna go change and then I'll be back down. Mama ran up the stairs and left me downstairs with Marcus Jr. He was so annoying. The one thing Daddy could have taken with him was Marcus Jr. He was in pain. He was a pain in the you-know-what. He cried so much and all he did was stare at me. I tried to make him laugh and play with him, but he just always looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah, he could have left early. Chapter 2. As soon as we walked outside, Auntie Riri pulled up with Uncle Earl and Jahan. Riri got out of the car and walked slowly over to Mama. Even though they were sisters, they were so different. Auntie Riri was tall with short curly hair and had the same skin complexion as Papa. My auntie and mom were super close and spent a lot of time together. Jahan, can you believe this? This is really happening. I walked over to her with the saddest face I could muster. Jahan was always so laid back though. The night before we talked on the phone for like 2 hours and she let me complain while she just listened. I can feel her rolling her eyes at me through the phone because she thinks I'm two things all the time, dramatic and sassy. She told me she was going to get me a shirt that says sassy but classy on it. I rolled my eyes at this stupid joke. The wind whipped through her jet black French braids as she strolled over to me and put her long, lanky arms around my body. I was so short compared to her. It's going to be all right, cousin. We will see each other in a few months. She tried to release me from the hug, but I would not let her go. Maddie, seriously, you're not moving to China, just Michigan. You know my mom and I go up there at least 3 times a year. Well, we will be up there soon. You don't even have a chance to miss us. I finally released my death grip on her, took a deep breath, and stepped back. You're right, I'm just gonna miss you. Jahan grinned as the light hit her skin. She reached down in her pocket and pulled out a small box. I'm going to miss you too. That's why I got you this. I squealed in excitement. I love gifts. Oh my gosh, Jahan, thank you. I opened the box and inside was a locket. On the inside, there was a picture of me on one side and a picture of her on the other side. I jumped up and down. Jahan rolled her eyes and smiled. It's going to be weird with you not being here, but it's cool. I know you won't forget me. I hugged her again as she stood there, frozen with her arms down to her sides. She acted like she didn't love me, but I knew it. It was all fake. I looked over to see my mom and aunt hugging as well. We decided to walk over there to see what we were going to do next. They hugged for what seemed like forever and finally let go. Hey, Auntie. I stood next to my mom and waved excitedly. I was suddenly engulfed in a massive hug by her. I slowly breathed in her favorite flowery perfume and closed my eyes at the same time. I did not want to leave her. Maddie, it's going to be okay. My mom rubbed my back as I held tightly to my aunt. I could hear the crackling in my mom's voice as she tried to hold back tears. All right, let's pull ourselves together. Auntie Riri released me from her hug and wiped her tears. Let's take a few pictures before you guys go. We should have enough time to get some ice cream at your favorite place before we take you to the airport. Now, that was a silver lining. Mama grabbed Marcus Jr. from the car seat and we all walked over to the old oak tree in the front yard. The shade was cool and the breeze ripped through my curls. Even though the wind was blowing, it was still hot. That was Georgia for you. I know, I'm a Georgia boy. I leaned back on the tree as my mama stood next. This is the picture of him. As my mama stood next to me holding Marcus Jr. up. Auntie made some baby noises and immediately Marcus Jr. started smiling. At least he was smiling for her. If Mama would have given him to me, I'm sure he would have tried to punch me in the face or stare at me really hard. I really believe he hated me. Oh, let me take the picture. Come on, Jahan, Auntie Riri said. Jahan looking a tad bit irritated, trying to muster a smile. This was not her thing, but she was doing it for us. Do a silly face, my mama yelled enthusiastically. I closed my eyes and stuck my tongue out. All right, funny faces on 3. 1, 2, 3, Mama said. Our pictures were so cute and funny. We laughed all the way to the car. Oh, sis, it won't be the same here without you, Auntie Riri said to Mama. Same goes for me too, babe. But don't worry, I know you will come visit us soon. Yes, I can't wait to see how you set up your new home. My mama did love decorating and she was good at it. But Auntie did not realize that wherever she was home for us. So guys, I love this book. But if you want to find out how the move went, you have to get it yourself. That's the key role. I gave you the introduction, but you got to get the book yourself. Read it, have fun. Let me know what you think. I love it. All right. Talk to y'all guys later. Bye.